confused. So let's try to draw this mouth again with the experimentation we have done for a better mouth. So we've been trying it from the top. Let's try it from the bottom. Get your mouth cut tool and draw from here to here. Press enter. Then we drew from here. I think we drew from the middle. What we were doing wrong the other time, I think, was we were supposed to draw from the middle. So if you can't find the point, draw from here, click and hold, then drag until it hits that point. Then put it in the middle. Not all the way, but in the middle. Midway. Midway. And press enter. So when you press enter, you have a shape which you can now go to faces, right click, go to faces and delete out the mouth like that. Then you can start adjusting it with vertexes. Right click, go to vertexes and go to start adjusting it. So you have this sort of a setup for the mouth. Yeah, I think this works. It's not bad at all. It took us some time to figure out, but we eventually figured it out. Okay, so what we want to check out is one thing. We want to draw a line a bit here and here. Press enter. I have my symmetry on, that's why I'm able to draw from both sides. Then I'll draw another one from the top, from here to here. Press enter. What we are after is having four lines. Then draw another one. I'm using mouth cut tool. Then draw another one in between here and come back to this one here. It's better to just start from the top and come until when it clicks. Press enter. So make sure you have four lines. Vertices. Go to vertices and pull. Okay, so what you're after is four sides. Four sides. Four sides. I think we can add a line down here. But this topology in between here, as you can see, let me see if this side we're okay. I think we're okay. This topology, for it to be a topology, it should be able to add an edge loop. You test it by adding an edge loop. If the edge loop goes around, it's a good topology. If it doesn't go around, it means it has a bit of a triangle somewhere, and that triangle will not allow a line to go around. So a good topology should flow. So what makes a human face a bit difficult to model is because you have to flow lines in different directions, but they should be flowing. So here they have to flow like in circles, then these have to flow around, then these have to flow that way, while still keeping four sides. Four sides. That's the tricky bit about good topology. But the rule is, as long as you remember you have supposed to have four sides, you should be good to go. So before I add that line, remember the process I've gone through, but anyway, since we're recording it, it's okay. You can always revisit. So make sure you have four of those. Now, go to the sides here. Even here you can see it's kind of a good flow. What is this? I don't know if I am in the right place. Okay. There. And there. Maybe bring this one a bit behind here like this. I hope it's not being weird. Nice, that's happening well. That's flowing really well. And this one follows, and this one follows also. So we should be a little good. So this one goes here. See? Oh yes, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. Okay, so this top mouth should be a bit outwards and this one should be a bit inside. So it should look also good on the inside and on the outside. I mean, sorry, on all sides. Should be looking good in the front and in the sides. Okay, this is clean. Save. Right click and go to edges. Sorry, sometimes I'm so fast. Right click, go to edges, double click to select the whole line. Then you can extrude the edge inwards. Let me first remove my symmetry. We are giving the mouth a second attempt. That's what we are doing. Then repeat the extrude and move to. Then you can start scaling it a bit inwards and downwards to create that kind of throat vibe. Yeah, this is a good mouth. You can get inside. Rotate it a bit to look down a bit. Extrude again with that line still selected and take it down. Rotate to. I'm getting my tools from here. Scale a bit. Don't mind so much what's up and down here. You can come back and clean it later. What you want to create is a mouth cavity. But when you smooth, now you see how perfect that line is? Huh? That is called topology. Like it should flow. So that when you start rigging a character and character is moving, it's believable muscle movement. If you have a lot of triangles as faces, it's going to have a problem. It's working fine. Oh, thank God. Okay. So now let's move. Let's start moving a few vertices. Let's try to work out this mouth as we did before. So what we did, we want to get a bit of a lip sort of idea. So go back to the modeling kit here, toolkit, and turn on your symmetry. Then you can move this back up a bit so that you can move also these ones a bit. Actually, before even I do that, let me first close up this mouth slightly. Go to faces and move them, or edges. Actually, let me start with edges. So notice that I work with those three things: edges, vertices, faces. Edges, vertex, faces. Edges, vertex, faces. And I also work with move to, rotation to, scale to. Move to, rotation to. Then up here, I usually just do extrude. So you find that those are the only things I use. So modeling does not require you to have any fancy tools. Maybe sometimes I'm inserting loop, like insert edge loop tool, this one, which adds lines. So I'm adding lines, deleting lines, adjusting faces, vertices, and edges. That's what I kept doing. So I'm just rotating the same thing over and over. So not every tool here you're going to need it or you use it. So if I feel in any area I can better move with faces, I'll use faces. Somebody might be like, how are you choosing which parts to which element to use? Well, whatever I feel will move the geometry better is what I use between the three: edges, vertices, and faces. So right now I feel like moving this edge might be better for me as I bring this mouth a bit down. I don't want the mouth to be too open because I am going to move it eventually. Then I'll move this one down a bit. I want it to be close a bit before I start moving it around. Like that. Then let me see if I can move this line a bit also down. Symmetry gives you room to adjust one side while the other side adjusts itself. This thing seems to be a bit too much in. It is creepy. It's creeping me out. Okay. Yeah, that looks a bit of a mess, but I can still read it a bit. Now, what I want to do is actually move this one a bit further down. I think I'll start with this bottom lip. I'll open it up a bit. And bring it out a bit also. Even this, bring it out a bit. Okay, not too much. Then I'll bring this one up a bit also. So this one follows. It's like we're opening up the lips. Then I remember bringing something out a bit like this, I believe. Now I'm using vertexes, guys. Yeah, making organic folds sometimes can be something of a challenge, but you get there. You get there eventually. Faces, bring it down a bit. And this one, bring it down a bit. Okay, that looks good. I can now add some extra lines, I believe. Let me see if I can add some extra lines. Look at this. Maybe about here. To increase. Then here, I'm using a mount cut tool. Then here in the middle. A bit here. And finally here. Press enter. That way I'm able to save and bring this mouth a bit in here. See that? Yeah? A bit there. Even this one down here. See that? Oh yeah, this stuff becomes fun. Now look at that. We didn't add them together properly, so yeah, when I clicked sideways, so it created another extra line which is not appropriate. I'm going to press number 4 on the keyboard and go here. There's a new tool, probably you don't see me using a lot. It's called merge vertexes. I can just merge them into one. Yeah, I think it has done them both. Yep, symmetry. Symmetry helps you merge one side, even this side works, which is cool. Whenever you find there are two vertices which are too close to each other, which are supposed to be part of the same line, but it's not flowing, you just merge them into one. Now we can move up a bit, go to edges, and push in to create that mouth, and then the one on top is working. Then I can continue. So at this point is where now maybe you start creating your African lips. For those who were saying that Africans have a bigger lip, this is where you do your thing. See that? Okay, so this is still something called a mesh model. It is still low poly. Still low poly model. But you'd have another sweep where you come back and do more details. What do I do? I feel like something is wrong here. I feel like it's wrong there. Seems okay when I smooth with number 3. Number 3 smoothes 1 and does that. So which part is supposed to be inside, which part is supposed to be outside? Okay, there's one here which we can put out and about. Okay. There. There. And there. Yeah, these things you have to keep adjusting and adjusting. Okay, that's a bit more interesting. I want to take this a bit further up, maybe this one a bit down a bit. This one a bit away, so that I can have maybe more lines. Okay. And that lip could use a bit of work, but I don't want to overdo it now. Let me just add another line down here. Press enter. Click. There. And there. And there. As long as we have flowing topology, we are good to go. If you get topology right to flow for you, you have a good character. So you have a nice mouth there flowing. Yeah, our lips are working out, but man, they don't look so right the other side. I don't know what would look right if we press them here, which is this one. I think that's okay there. Let me see. Mine's at least flowing. The nose, I don't know whose nose this is. This looks like, yes. The upper mouth has to be, yes. This one? Up. Why? Remember, there's also rigging. When you rig that, you're able to move the lip. So when you're moving it in position. So that when you rig it eventually, then you can open. It's the rig which opens the mouth. This one. Are you talking about this? The lip here. For the upper lip. First go this side so that you can see it better. This one. Ah. Ah, a bit up like this. Ah, okay. That detail is going to come a bit later. Right now, we're still doing with yellow poly. But of course, when we add a bit of more lines, we can actually start going for the heart shape, mouth, and all that. This will come a bit later. At this stage, we are trying to get the low poly shape right. Yes. So it will come eventually. Okay. Right. I think that is good. We could do more, but what the heck. Let's first chill it there. We have fought a good fight. Okay. All right. So the mouth is a bit close to what we need. Not exactly the best of the best, but a bit close. Let's see if we can extend this a bit here. That's a bit better. Okay. Now, which line are the ears normally? And we can do one ear. We don't have to do two. Which line, which part of the ear has the mouth? It's in between. Guys, it's here. Look here. I'm showing you. It's about there. You know, it's a cartoon. We can put them wherever. But if, as far as I know, it's between the eye and the nose. It's about here. This is too high. You guys. About here? So? Up. Guys, where should we put it? Here, let's see. They shouldn't go above the eye line. If we add all of this to be too big, I think. Sorry? Okay. Okay, so what you're going to do, sometimes you can just extrude the ear out as is, depending on how big you want the ears to be. I don't want the ear to be so big, so let me first see if I can add a line. Insert edge loop 2 and pull, extrude and pull. Ears there, eh? Guys, are you there? Are those good ears? This what? So I'm not making real human ears, of course. Then I'm going to squeeze them a bit like that. Then I'll go to vertices and start pulling. These are easy to make. A bit out, a bit out. Then I can maybe add a line somewhere in the middle and pull. I'm just doing cartoon ears. Pull. See that? Then I can also come to edges and pull these edges, the ones in the middle. So it feels like, I think the ear is usually smaller at the bottom, isn't it? Check your ears. Is it smaller at the bottom? Are ears smaller at the bottom or what? It's bigger at the bottom. No, I mean in terms of the fresh. I feel like the ear is bigger and has a wider surface at the top. Anyway, it's up to you guys. I am not dictating on how you're making your character. I can't hear you. So it's supposed to be bigger at the top or smaller at the bottom. What is it supposed to be? Excuse us. Are you part of our class? Please. No, please. Come on, man. That's not cool at all. Supposed to be? It's bigger at the top, smaller at the. Because you guys, the thing is, you're not looking even trying to look at your ears. Can you look at your ears? Yes, it's thin, but which side has a wider surface area? This one or this one? Which side is? The top side has to be a little bit bigger and it's supposed to be thinner at the bottom. That's what I was asking for. So, and remember, these are not realistic ears. We're just sort of making references. So you see that? Now, of course, ears have a certain depression in them. So I'm going to select these faces. Make sure I've not selected any other faces. Press number 4 to ensure. So they have a certain depression. So I'm going to select those faces, extrude. When I extrude, I want to go to the scale tool here and zoom in, scale inwards. See that? Guys, are you seeing? What that helps me to do is create another line of four-sided faces here. But even better yet, now I can extrude again and go in a bit as I scale a bit like that. Somebody putting up their hand. Oh, the thing wasn't on. I think it jumped a bit. Sorry. So I'll go a bit there. I can stop there, but it depends on what you want to accomplish. I feel like we have a bit of room to do more. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to go for simpler ears. I'm not going to go for complex ears. So I think this is okay. So that when I press that, feels like an ear. Huh? Guys, can that pass for ear? Looks like that of a monkey. But it passes for ear. So when you're doing animation, you're not going after something very realistic. Remember that, eh? You're going for something which can pass for reality. Now, of course, this is kind of not standing out very well, but you can start adding some lines. A mark, I told you what shows you that what you have modeled is clean, that you can add lines through it and it will go all around. That shows that. Let me first put a line here. Kind of makes. In Maya, when you put a line closer to the edge, that edge becomes more defined. But I feel like that's too much. If I remove that line, you notice it will be smoother. I don't know what we should go for. That's the decision I can leave to you. You want to be more smooth like this or a bit more defined? A bit more sharper. So maybe I add one here. A bit more like that. If the ear still feels too big, you can usually just reduce it, but ears are good to be a little big. And you can, I don't know, if I had more time, of course, I would just keep adjusting this until when I make it look good. But I'm going to leave it there since it's low poly. Then I am going to do this nose here. Sometimes you want to add, a nose has something extra on it, but I don't know if I should do it or not. Sometimes it's better to do a simple nose by simply selecting these holes down here and extruding them. Extrude, selection tool, scale tool, and pull in like that. You can push with the move tool this side a bit, and then you can extrude again and take it in and scale so that it goes back in there. When you smooth, you should be able to have that. So if you want to define it more, of course you can add lines. So you can add some lines to define it more, because right now it's kind of doing that, which is okay if that's what the kind of thing you're going for. But you can add a line on the outside to make it more like a nose of a bat, or you can add a line inside to define it a bit further from the inside. See that? And you can hold it a bit further also inside if you want, so that it stays a bit more inside there. So I'm doing one side. But I can do more to it because I want to cut off one side. When I feel like I have the side, guys, if I feel like I have one side working out for me, I can just chop off one side. You go to faces and chop off one side, right click faces, select everything, go to the front side and delete off all one side like that. Then go to mirror. I feel like these eyes could do better. Let me bring them down a bit. These eyes could do a bit better. And I think also I should hold them a bit. I feel like they're not holding very well. If you want to hold faces, hold one there. There you go. Or hold one there and pull it a bit in. Yep, that should do a trick. That feels much nicer, don't you think?
Did you see what I did?
Okay, you reversed the story. I said that the eye should be able to be hugged. Hugged is the term I used. It should be hugged. Okay. That was really nice. We have a mouth going down there. This is a low poly character. Generic, of course, but you can turn it into any other person. Okay, now I'm going to go to mirror, double click on mirror, and we are mirroring that side. Copy world, apply. Let's see, we have Oof, that nose, eh? I don't know. The ears are earring. The eyes are eyeing. It's bold, but that's okay. So what I want to do, I want to bring the neck out from here. Let me first extend this a bit behind to create a sense of flow. Depends on what you're doing, what kind of a head you're going for. Okay, so where does the neck begin normally? There? Faces. Go to faces and select whatever is at the bottom. Remove this. This goes off. I feel like I should get my neck from underneath. It really depends on what you're going for. There's no rule where the neck should be coming off from. I could get my neck away from here. And I could make it even small. I could go for a neck like that. Extrude. Ooh, there's another face. Oopsie. Make sure you press number 4 to make sure nothing is selected that is not supposed to be selected. Extrude. Move to. I don't know how appropriate that this is, but I want it to be symmetrical. So I'm going to go to vertices and pull one by one. Hold down X on my keyboard and pull one by one to hit that line. Oof, no, I want 1 1. X, pull. X, pull. X, pull. X, pull. X, pull. So that is flat, like that. And then I want to start, and I don't need to keep these lines, these faces. Right click, go to faces, select everything, shift select off these ones, keep the ones at the bottom, backspace. You don't need those. Sorry, I moved my thing accidentally. Delete. Let me have my symmetry back on. So I can do that. The neck. I don't have symmetry on this side. So I can just scale a bit them, select this line and this line, then scale a bit so that I have something more rounded. In cartoons, a neck goes smaller as it goes down the bottom. Then I can select this one and extrude again, and extrude. That's too much though. And extrude again, so that it faces down. Okay. Want him to, this to be the body. So we are creating something like a bust. I don't know what kind of character is going to be, but I want him to have a nice neck. So this part can be hidden under his clothes. Nobody will know what he's wearing under anyways. Oh yeah. Not bad at all. Okay. I feel like the neck is too big, don't you think? This character will look better with a neck which is shift select. Oh, this shift select all of these edges. I feel like it would look better with a neck which is smaller, which you can make him smaller and bigger at the bottom, or go the opposite end like this. No, I think let's leave it as it was. Smaller the better. I feel like I should add a line here to just hold his face, to hold this neck so that it doesn't go away from there. What do you think? Is that better? Okay. Let me leave them there. I don't want to do too much adjustments. So from this point on, when you have finished a base mesh, let me switch off this grid. When you have finished a base mesh, the next thing would be to start modeling in those details, which requires you to add more lines. Sometimes what people do, they smooth it again once to make him stand out a bit more. But as you can see, lines become many pretty quickly, so you can't edit this. Some people just resort to smoothing, sculpting with sculpting tools. But we don't want to do that. We want to keep the base mesh a bit low poly, because we might want to do more work on this. But the eyes should be able to rub around. Now, when you come back to the details, you're going to start maybe pulling some of the stuff out so that you can have more side lines. This one actually has a bit of a forehead. The eye is a bit inside when you look at from the side. So you find that you might have to pull that a bit ahead. So you start kind of working in. For us, ours is a bit flat because it's a generic character, but you can come back and start working through those details here and there. But for now, let's first stop here, because the purpose of this exercise is for you to learn about topology and how to model clean topology. It's not really about modeling a more detailed character. It's about getting topology on a character and putting faces on objects. So if you understand the human face, it means you can put it on any other objects, whether it's a bottle, whether it's a banana, whether it's a chair, you can put a face on it. And if you can do that with proper topology, that's what you call character modeling. You know how to model hands, you know how to model feet. When you add all those things to a character, then you have something called character modeling. Okay, so let me switch off this symmetry situation here, save, and